Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the country here. Again, my name is Shayla or Mrs. Queen Harris, if whichever one comes first. Today, though, I am going to be talking about something that is super duper duper important for any agency, any business, anything in general. This team, every team, it's going to be plus leads, guys. Plus leads, plus leads, plus leads, plus things. Plus leads are the most important thing in the whole world. In any agency, any lead type, it is the best lead type. It is the highest show ratio lead type, highest pickup ratio lead type, highest closing ratio lead type, highest ALP per sale lead type. It is the best lead type humanly possible. Now, originally, I was going to run this workshop, or I was scheduled to run this workshop on closing and needs analysis, needs building, for plus leads specifically. But the first thing that I want every single person in here to know is that building need or value and closing a plus lead is exactly the same as every other lead type. Everybody write that down. Building need and value and closing a plus lead is exactly the same as every single other lead type that has ever existed. Do not change anything from other lead types. Nothing. Keep it exactly the same. The more that we as a team and as an agency and as people can take plus leads and take them off this like island and just kind of mesh them with every single thing else that we do with the other lead types, the better. They are exactly the same. Exactly. It's still a lead, as we all know. A lead is just a reason to talk to someone, right? And a plus lead is no different. Okay? We all got that? We good with that? You guys can unmute so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yes.
Got it.
Got you, Shayla.
Sure.
Got it, Shay.
Perfect. Fantastic. Love it. So I'm not going to run a workshop on building needs and closing a plus lead. It is the same. We all know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you're going to learn how to do it with every other lead type. It is exactly the same. Everything we all learned in training about closing a lead, you do the same thing with plus leads. What I'm going to go ahead and do today is talk about starting a plus lead presentation, the intro of a plus lead presentation. Because if there's anything that changes for plus leads, if there's anything about the process that changes, it's dialing them, what we say to them over the phone, and the beginning of the presentation. That's it. Everything else is exactly the same, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. I cannot. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna share my screen with everybody. Let me know when you guys can see that.
Got it.
There. So this is the beginning of HP Pro, right? And this is how you would start HP Pro for a plus lead, right? Again, very similar to everything else. It's just a few of these things are a little bit different, right? This is actually a plus lead that I have scheduled today. Her name is Sydney. She's out there in Florida. The market type, always, if the plus lead came from a veteran, is always going to be veteran. You're never going to change that. If the plus lead came from a credit union, then you'll put credit union. But it's always, everybody here is always going to be one of those two things. Make sure that you do that. The subtype, however, is either the sponsored veteran lead, veteran family lead. It's either sponsored veteran lead or veteran family lead. One of these two. The difference, a sponsored veteran lead is a veteran. The person that you are about to talk to is a veteran, was in the military. Veteran family lead, they were not. They're a civilian. So one of them is a veteran, the other one is not. Okay, this girl just so happens to be the daughter of the veteran and is not an actual veteran. All of these things will auto-populate. Everybody got me there? Then we start. The reason why you have to start a plus lead presentation that very specific way is because the materials over here on the left-hand side change. You can only access this right here. It's the $2,000 AD&D certificate, which we'll talk about here in a second, if you start the presentation in that very specific way. Does everybody have that? Everybody got that?
Got it.
Awesome.
Got it.
Awesome. Now, when I start a Plus Lead presentation, I actually do not start with a notification letter at all, okay? Because there isn't one. Doesn't exist here, technically, okay? So when I start a Plus Lead presentation, I'm actually talking to them with my camera, with my camera on, and my screen is not shared, okay? When I start a Plus Lead presentation. You start every single presentation the exact same with the intro, right? One of the things that I learned from Brandon Miner a couple months ago in a workshop he ran was an acronym called LSOAK. Changed everything. LSOAK. You start your intro with what to talk about, right? We always talk about, oh, what do we do with rapport? Do we use form? Do we use this? How do I start the presentation, right? And that's how I've been starting mine, and it just changed everything, right? LSOAK, location, spouse, occupation, activities, and kids, right? Talk about those 5 things at the very beginning for about 5 to 7 minutes. You can start any presentation ever. Again, that's the same with every single lead type. That's how I do it. So intro, same thing with everybody else. Hey, how's it going? My name is Shayla, Veterans Division, American Income. Glad we get this done. Glad to put a face to the voice. How's your day? What you got planned for Easter? What's your weekend like? You got a kid? You've been there your whole life. However, your whole thing starts. The only thing with a Plus Lead, though, because remember, a Plus Lead is somebody that we collected from the actual veteran, right? So the veteran that we sat with earlier that day or yesterday gave us the information for the person that we're sitting with right now. Their name, their spouse if they have one, their occupation, their phone number, their city and state. They already told us a little bit about the person we're sitting with. So in your intro, you can actually be just a little bit more assumptive if you did your job right with the sponsor, you can be a little bit more assumptive with the Plus Lead. I already know that you just got hired at Boeing. I already know that you're from Louisiana. I already know that you're about to have a baby. I had one of those last week. Sponsor told me in the sit while I was collecting, they're about to have a baby this weekend, so they're super busy. Oh my gosh. And I put that in the notes so that I could bring it up later. Hey, how's your baby? I know you just had congratulations. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. So when you're getting to know them, because that's what the rapport building and the intro is about, you kind of already know a Plus Lead. You know them. You know some of their family. You know whoever the sponsor is. So you can use that. You can be a little bit more assumptive. And in being more assumptive with their life, you build a lot more credibility of who you are and why you're there. Okay. From there, after we do all of that, right? Get to know you a little bit, also build rapport, form, whatever it may be, again, for about 5 to 7 minutes. That is when I am going into the structure that I have for every single sit that I've ever done. Who I am, why we are meeting, and what we are about to do. Who I am, why we're meeting, and what we are about to do. That is the structure for every intro for every lead type that I've ever ran. Who I am. I am Shayla with the Veterans Division of American Income. That's who I am. Why we are meeting? Because your father, Jim, gave me your phone number. That's why. All right? And what we're about to do, we are about to go over all of the benefits that he extended to you. Or the both of you, if they're married. Does that make sense? Who I am, why we're meeting, what we're about to do. All right?
Got it, Shayla. Thank you.
Of course. So,
Gotcha.
Who I am again. I am Shayla. We are the Veterans Division, American Income. So what happened was your father, he requested some information. I'm very honest with Plus Leads. Your father requested some information about burial guides and will kits for veterans a few weeks ago. I was the agent that was assigned to delivering those benefits to him. I was the agent that was assigned to delivering his benefits to him. And at one point, he was able to extend those same benefits out to his closest friends and family. You being at the top of that list. So you'll want to thank him. Right? I want to start on a positive note, very positive. Thank him, you know, the next time you talk to him. So my job here, why we're meeting, right? My job here is to just go over all of the benefits that he extended out to you. It's going to include an estate planning guide, a will kit, AD&D certificate, healthcare discount card. You guys got kids under the age of 18? Yes. Oh, perfect. We got something for the kids. I'm going to go over his VA benefits so that you will know how to operate when it comes to the VA. Same thing I did for him. But I'm also going to help you qualify for and activate a permanent benefit option through American Income. Same thing I did with him. And I say that a lot. Same thing that I did with him. Same thing that I did with them. When you're in a plus lead, when you're talking to a plus lead, a big part of your credibility comes from the relationship of the sponsor. So you want to lean on it. Name drop. Write that down there. Name drop. A lot. A lot. Because that's where most of your credibility is coming from. So same thing that I did with Jim. Jim and Mary, I treated them the same exact way. Everything we're about to go over, I went over with them. Everything. That make sense?
Yes.
Got that? Okay, perfect. So, got that. Who I am, why we're meeting, and what we are about to do. So, I'm going to go over all that. I'm going to see if you can qualify for these permanent benefits, do your general estate planning, do it all. Okay, now the reason they have us on Zoom is because it's a secure network for me to share my screen with you. You can follow along. When I'm finished, I'm going to email every single thing to you, just like I did your dad. Sound good? Perfect. All right. Let me share my screen, show you the first thing. Any questions about any of that, guys? So far.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, show you. Camera off, boop. Let me know when you can see it. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
perfect. Now, one of the first benefit that your father went on ahead and extended out to you is a $2,000 accidental death and dismemberment certificate of coverage. I go through all of the benefits that were extended out to this plus lead first. That's the first thing. I'm starting with the $2,000 cert. It's both a living and a death benefit. God forbid you lose a hand, foot, one of your eyes. Pays out half the amount. If you lose your life in an accident, pays out the full amount. Now, obviously $2,000 isn't all the money in the world. It's not going to, pay off a whole mortgage or pay for an entire funeral. The permanent benefits, those would help with that. And we're going to talk about that later. But every little bit helps, right? Yeah, of course it does. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get these out to you. I'll need 2 beneficiaries. When I talk about the AD&T cert, I get 2 beneficiaries right away. And just write them down. A couple of reasons. Number 1, validity, right? Credibility. This is an actual certificate that plus leads can get. It's an actual policy. And it doesn't cost them anything. $2,000. Anybody can have one. We can all in here have one. But I want to get some beneficiaries so that they know, yep, it's legit, but also to start collect more plus leads from the plus lead I'm sitting with. So who are those 2 people? What are their phone numbers? Where are they at? All right. Okay, perfect. Now the next benefit your father went on ahead and extended out to you is a 1-year membership at no cost to you into our AL Plus program. Now this is not health insurance. It's like a discount card. And literally, guys, when you present something like this, you can just read it. It says all of the information on it. Everything that you'll need to know is right on here. You guys are going to get that too. Super duper exciting. Now, you guys got kids under the age of 18? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. We also got a McGruff Child Safety ID kit as well. AIL partnered up with the Police Officers, Crime National Prevention Council, and a lot of veteran service organizations to provide these for parents at no cost. I'm sure we've all been woken up in the middle of the night by one of those Amber Alerts that a child has gone missing. You guys know it actually takes on average 4 hours for the first responders to get all the information they'll need to send out one of those alerts. This kit right here is designed so that all of the child information is in one place so that the first responders would have no delay on finding a little one, God forbid they were to go missing. Okay, it has things like vital statistics, hair and eye color, height and weight. You can put a picture, but also special marks, scars, birthmarks, things like that. I'm going to give this to you for every single dependent child in the family. How many is that? I sold a policy yesterday. They had 20 kids.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I was like, perfect. 20. Cool. Got it. Now, this only really applies if the people that I'm speaking with have children under the age of 18. And that's something that, again, I asked earlier, right? You guys heard that? If they don't have kids under the age of 18 or grandkids under the age of 18, this is irrelevant. Don't do it. Okay? Okay, perfect. Now, the next thing that we're going to go over here is a last will and testament preparation survey. That way they can customize the benefits to fit your needs, but also so that we can get that will started for you. So they have me verify just a few things here. Okay? You are single, Sydney. What's your date of birth, gender? Every single thing about from here moving forward is the exact same type of presentation as any other veteran lead. From here on, I'm going to do the survey. I'm going to go into the burial guide and the will kit. I'm going to collect persons to be notified, collect more referrals and plus leads. For children and parents of veterans, I'll do those 3 important facts because they might help with that, or they might help their parent with that. So for her, I'm going to go over that with her. I'm going to go into the needs analysis, build need and value. I'm going to present the freedom of choice. I'm going to close. Just like how I would do 3-way text, every single thing else from here moving forward is exactly the same. That's what we were talking about earlier as well. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
I got that? Okay, fantastic. Does anybody have any questions?
So, yes, can I ask a question?
Yes, who's that?
My name is Benjamin.
Hello, Benjamin. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Shayla? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I've got a quick question. So you said from there forward, you want to do pretty much the exact same presentation. Is this for the referral of another vet, or is this for anybody? I'm just wondering because in the vet presentation, you bring up the statistics about the VA benefits and how they're very limited and stuff like that. But would you show that stuff to somebody who's not a veteran?
Only if, and that's what I was just saying there. That's a great question. I only bring up those 3 important, you talk about 3 important facts about the VA burial benefits, right? I would only bring that up if the plus lead, if the referral that I'm talking to is the child or the parent of the veteran.
So immediate family.
Yeah, immediate family, yes.
Right, because then the benefits of that stuff do apply to immediate family if your family is a vet.
Because remember, they are on this list. One of the reasons why I'm meeting with Sydney with the plus lead is because your father put you down as one of the people that would handle all that stuff, so you should probably know about it. Perfect. And also be able to help him about it. Yeah, but it's only with immediate family. So if let's say I get a plus lead from a veteran and it's their friend, right? Maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't do that. But then even taking a step further, let's say Sydney, who is not a veteran, gives me another plus lead that is also not a veteran, right? Then I'm definitely not doing it. You don't have any connection to it,
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. Any other Al, you got a question?
Yeah, quick question. Yeah. So I feel like plus leads more than obviously most with the referrals to the family. Hey, I spoke to Joe Schmo, he loved it, whatever, he referred you for these benefits. You get to the sale. Do you normally get these kind of questions? And if you do, what's the best way around them as far as like company policy, legality wise? Hey, did my dad end up buying a policy? Did he, yada, yada. Now we're like, oh yeah, he loved it. He bought a policy, obviously without getting numbers. Or is it, hey, straight confidentiality. We can't technically release any of that information. You'd have to ask them. I mean, what's the way you would navigate something like that?
So are you asking, so if the plus lead, if the person that I'm sitting with asks me very specific private information about the sponsor?
Yeah, not necessarily specific, like, hey, how much did he spend with you, but more so of the, hey, did dad ended up going, and getting this from you guys? Was he actually interested?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to, yes, I would definitely answer that question, but it's also like a yes or a no. If you ask me a yes or a no question, I'm going to say yes or no. Did my dad request this information? Yes. That's the only reason why we're meeting, right? Did he get that freedom of choice? Yes. If he did. If not, I don't want to lie,
Right, right.
If he didn't qualify for the actual permanent benefit and you ask me if he did, then I'll have to tell you, like I don't want to lie. And if you ask me, did he, most people though don't necessarily ask, did he pay for this? Like I have so much control during my sit that you wouldn't even get an opportunity to ask me something like that, because again, the only thing about a plus lead presentation that applies to the sponsor are the 3 important facts. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. So I'm not even alluding, see, you see in the intro, I'm not even talking about the fact that, oh yeah, your parents, I signed them up with benefits and they have a permanent life insurance policy with American Income Life. Like I didn't say any of that because I don't want to start, to invite those type of questions, which really isn't your business, as a plus lead, it's not their business anyway.
Right.
You need to talk about that with your parents. I'm here to go over, and again, like who I am, why we're meeting, and what we're about to do. I'm here to go over the benefits your father extended to you. I'm here to talk about you and your situation. Now, will I kind of mention, like, yeah, I did this for them, I did this for your parents, this is what your parents got, or this is what I did for them? Sure. I'll kind of name drop. That's what I was talking about before. I'll name drop for sure. But I'm not here to get into specifics about your parents' policy or your parents' benefits. Not even like the parents' family information guide and all the We're here to talk about you. And I need to make that very, very, very clear.
Cool.
You want the plus leads. The plus leads is about clarity for sure. That's one of the things that I've learned. You don't want anything to be lost in translation or confusion. You don't want a whole lot of confusion, because then what could happen is your plus lead could go back to the sponsor and sucks, and I don't want that,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions there?
Yeah, I saw that you showed a survey for the family, but what if the plus lead is a neighbor or a friend of the veteran?
Are you talking about for the survey specifically?
Well, yeah, do you still pull that up, or do you handle the presentation differently if they're not family and if they happen to, okay, if they're just
Absolutely
like the
not.
neighbor,
So
the friend?
so remember, anything that I've already, so all those no cost, the AD&D and the plus card and the safety kit, that I probably will not show a PA vet. I actually never show them all of those things, right? The survey, everything from the survey on is exactly the same. So if you see up at the top here, that's a great question actually. See up at the top here where it says I'm a veteran or I'm a relative of a veteran. When you start the presentation in that specific way, where it's like the sponsored veteran lead or veteran family lead, this will already be automated. This will already be there. If it's not, you can just click on it. If I know Sydney is not a veteran, I'm going to click this button right here. And then this part, the veteran relative information, that actually changed a little bit too, right? So instead of asking Sydney her branch of service and honorable discharge and da-da-da-da, they're asking about the actual veteran that she would be connected to, their service. If she is not connected, if this person that I'm sitting with isn't connected to a veteran at all, I would skip over this part right here.
Okay, so we just skip it if the vet recommended their neighbor.
Yeah, like, so not necessarily if they're a neighbor. I'm saying if the person that sponsored this person right here was also not a veteran. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If they were, then yes, you got to keep going. But if they weren't, then because as you can see, it says veteran relatives information, right? The relative's first name, which is the sponsor, whoever the sponsor is, their last name, their branch of service, which wouldn't necessarily apply. You know what I mean? Things like that. But if the sponsor was not a veteran, this wouldn't show up anyways. Does that make
Okay.
sense, Hollis? So if the sponsor is a veteran, this would show up. If they are not, then this wouldn't be there.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Any other questions there?
Just to add to what Al was asking about, can you tell me which is good and which is not? Well, Joe saw the value in this, and that's why they shared this with you. Or if they say, like, what did they get? Well, unfortunately, I don't feel like this is legal. Well, unfortunately, they didn't qualify, but he was hoping you could, which is why we are, or why they extended it to you. Like, we cannot say that they qualified or not, correct?
You can't talk about somebody's personal information, especially in insurance. You can't talk about that without them present, right? So now again, I'm not gonna lie to you or anything like that. So what you want to practice doing, instead of like trying to figure out how to answer a question like that, I've actually never, ever, I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of plus lead presentations. No plus lead has ever asked me, well, what did my dad get? What's his ever?
That makes much more sense.
Mostly because I have that much control. It doesn't even come up. I won't even let you think that it could come up. Does that make sense?
Okay.
If that makes any sense at all.
It does. That makes a lot more sense.
I would kind of change the thought process of trying to overcome that type of rebuttal and think of it more like that rebuttal doesn't even need to exist.
Okay.
Because it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. Okay.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Because again, I'm being very clear about the fact that we are not here to talk about your father's benefits.
We're talking about
not
you.
here to do that. That is not what this is for. This meeting is to talk about your benefits, not your father's. The only thing that will apply to your dad is the 3 VA ones, which if you guys don't know anything about just those 3, then you should probably look that up, because his daughter might have questions and you got to have answers,
Mm-hmm.
That's it though. Whether they got a policy or not, completely irrelevant. And you also got to remember, guys, a plus lead, like the son or the daughter or the parent or whatever of the veteran, they went back and talked to their parent, So they probably already have those answers anyway. Why are you asking me?
Yep.
Legally, I can't tell you, but then go ask your dad. So that's a good rebuttal kill. I like it. Hey, what did my dad get? You should ask him. We're here to talk about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is that what you were asking earlier, Al? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, you covered it pretty good. So basically, more or less, ask them, this is about you. So
this is about you. Yeah, exactly. Very, very, very important for sure. Thank you guys for clarifying that. Any other questions there?
I've got one.
So Bavash, how's it going?
What's up? So one objection that I've been getting a lot when running referral sits is is this a scam objection? Is there kind of any way to kill that objection entirely?
So you're getting when you are dialing them, or
no, like in the actual presentation, like they think it's a scam for whatever reason. When I told them, I met with your sponsor and got this extended to him, and now these are going.
Sponsor talk to the plus lead?
Yeah.
So the sponsor said this is not a scam, and you sit up there and you say it's not a scam, and they still think this is a scam.
And they still believe it's a scam. Exactly. Is there a way to kind of kill that objection entirely, or is that something that's naturally always going to come from referrals?
No, that never comes. So again, just like how Angela was saying, I've never ever sat in front of a plus lead and they were like, this is scammy, ever, because all of your credibility or most of your credibility is going to come from the sponsor. So that's more of one of those one time, or if it's happening to you often there, Avash, we should talk about that offline there, because that's a little bit, that doesn't happen ever, really. If this person, if the plus lead that I'm sitting with actually did talk to their father about everything that's going on, they should already know that I'm not a scam, that I'm a real person, that I have real business, that you get something real, right? They should already know, because they would have asked, because the sponsor would have told them, or at least would have said, talk to Shayla because she has things to, even if they didn't go into detail, at least the sponsor's on my side, right? So you're going to be more likely to listen to me, right? Whatever I have to say, even if in the back of your mind, you're still a little skeptical, at least the sponsor trusted me, right? So maybe that's where it is for, if you are getting that objection a lot, the sponsor didn't even trust you. And the conversation between the sponsor and the plus lead is not a positive one. So that's where you want to put your focus, Savash, is if the plus lead is coming to you like, I don't trust you, I don't like it, scam, 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 that means that something that the plus lead said to the sponsor was similar to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you want to put a lot of focus in on the conversation between the sponsor and the plus lead. That right there starts when you're collecting them.
Got it. Okay.
First, right? And the person's to be notified. We all know how that works, right? But then when you're into the sponsorship tool and you're starting this whole three-way texting thing, is the intention clear? That's huge. And I talked about this earlier here. Message sent, message received. I will call your friends and family and go and treat them the same way that I am treating you right now. If you don't want that to happen, you need to let me know right now. If they don't want that to happen, no problem. They can tell me over the phone, right?
Okay.
But it's gonna happen. Either way, it's going to definitely happen, right? Sound good? Okay, perfect. Three-way text, boom, right? And if they're still confused, if the sponsor is still confused, you need to handle that. Like then, right then, so that when they talk to the plus lead, it's positive. If you guys have ever seen me in a ride-along, when I am collecting plus leads, I say, they have to qualify, right? This plus lead has to qualify for the benefits that you're giving him. You're giving them. They have to be over the age of 18, because I don't want any minors, right? They cannot be in trouble with the law currently, because those people don't qualify at all. And then, like, if you're in jail, can't get life insurance. So I don't want those people either. And they have to have your permission and your contact. Without your permission, I can't give them the will kit with the promo code. So like a call to action, right? They need to hear from you before they hear from me. So you can say, hey, I was able to extend some benefits out. This is what I'm telling the sponsor as I'm collecting the plus lead. I'm controlling the conversation that happens between them. This is what you can say, Avash. You can tell your brother, hey, I was able to extend some benefits out to you since you're my brother. So a benefit representative named Shayla is going to reach out and set up a Zoom call. Shayla is smart and gorgeous and perfect in every single way. So listen to her, and they laugh just like that. They're like, hey, ha, ha. And I laugh. So to kind of break up, like a little bit of tension, if there is any, but I'm serious. Like, yes, I'm kind of joking, but I'm also very serious. I want it to be positive. I want it to be friendly. I want it to be nice. Not only so they pick up the phone, so they actually do sit with me. And now the plus lead sit starts positive. Does that make sense?
It does, very much so. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Any other questions about that right there? Or any of that?
I have questions.
Yes.
It's really, can you talk about
Sam?
how many plus leads you have in your account, right? Not the number, I don't care about that, but I'm saying if people, as they build this up, how often should they be focusing on leads versus plus leads? How do you balance what you're going to work on when you start your day?
So I have like a few different lead types in my bank, and some lead types definitely have different call times that are better than others, right? That I've learned over the years. There's definitely different times. We all know prime time is good for everybody, but sometimes it's better pickup rates for different ones that I've found. I found that dialing plus leads in the middle of the day, middle of my day, I'm on the West Coast. So in the middle of my day is usually the best. Now, when you collect a plus lead, dialing it, the sooner that you can dial it, the sooner that you can call that plus lead, the better. Plus lead shelf life decreases very, very, very quickly as time goes on. The later that you call that plus lead after you collected, the worse it gets, basically. So
walk me through that. Walk me through that a little bit, because if I'm in the presentation and I'm getting all the information, do you do three-way texting, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, so you do it. So the texting goes out and you're saying shelf life decreases. So should I immediately, when the sit is done, start booking?
Yes, immediate, right away.
Well, wouldn't
Actually,
I
take it a
wait?
step further. If we are not on the Zoom on their phone, if we're on their laptop, their iPad, their computer, I will have the sponsor call the plus lead in the sit.
Really, in the sit?
Yeah. The sooner the
Okay.
better. Sooner the
That's
better.
awesome. So everyone here, regardless of their tenure or whatever, they should be looking at plus leads as what? How do you look at them? Is it they're extraordinarily
Gold.
valuable? Gold?
Literal gold.
Now,
It makes the process, it's so much easier, it's so much more lucrative. If you feel like you are not the best at either presenting or dialing or any of that, plus leads are your answer, because they all, if the sponsor and if you, when you collected them, did your job right, they already know what's going on. I always say that a sponsored veteran lead, so that's a plus lead that is a veteran, is the same as a PA vet. They just have their checkbook ready. They already
That
know,
makes sense.
because they already know what's going on. And
All
you
right.
don't
They're
have to change
prepared to
anything about the presentation. They're a veteran. So you do everything
Okay.
the exact same.
Awesome. Joselle, you're up.
Thanks, Sam.
So when how you just said, do you like to use the whole like, oh, we'll just call them right away? Is that another good way how you can use the rebuttal? Oh, I don't want to give out their phone number right now. You can say, hey, well, just give them a call real quick while I'm right here, and if they have any questions and it's okay, then we can absolutely get their number down so we can get this information and these benefits out to them.
Yes.
Because
100%.
I had to sit Tuesday, and she's like, oh, well, I don't feel comfortable giving their information out. And I said, because I got in trouble with one of my friends the one time because I gave their information out and someone called them and they didn't know they were going to get called.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. And again, we talk about this, and I say this over and over. If you guys haven't written down, you have to write it down. When you are diving into the plus lead process, clarity is super duper duper important. You just said that the friend was mad because she didn't know that she was going to be called. How could she not know? The sponsor knows, you reach out, you know what I mean? That should never ever be a thing. Nobody should not know anything. I don't know should not be an issue when we're talking about plus leads, ever.
No, not as a plus lead. It's like, I guess in a different situation, like she had given a number out to a coworker for another coworker, and that coworker got mad. And so that's why she refuses to give numbers out. That was her excuse.
Sure.
So I'm saying, well, you could use that rebuttal like you just said. Well, we can give them a call right now, and I can send them a text while you're on the phone with them.
Yes.
Perfect.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Okay, I don't have
Okay,
to
let's-
call them at all. I don't really want to. You can call them. Put it
Awesome.
on speakerphone. You call them, put it on speakerphone. I'll talk.
Angelina, what do you got for us?
So basically a summary, do the three-way text. If there's any pushback, call them right now. And this way they know it's legit,
Go ahead and call them.
correct?
And book
All
them.
right.
And book them for an appointment, or Zoom Domino, which is like, hey, I'll be done in about an hour. I'll have some time. Go ahead and join my Zoom room. Here's my meeting ID. Go ahead and join.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to tell them to follow.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
That's
All right.
something that I started to do about a year and some change ago or so, and it works like it's the best thing in the entire world. If I really don't want it, I'd rather not call them. And when you think about it, whose phone number are they going to answer? A random or their mom?
Right.
You know?
Thank you, Angelina.
Mm-hmm.
Francis, you're up. What do you got for Shayla?
Yeah, in case I miss anything, Shayla, how would you tell a dialer, by definition, what are plus leads?
What is a plus lead?
Yeah.
So a plus lead
Tell the
is
dialer.
like a lead is a name and a number and some information that we got from another lead. That's what a plus lead is. Does that make sense? So the plus lead didn't make a request for a burial guide and will kit as a dialer, right? In the phone script, PA vet phone script, hey, you made a request for burial guide and will kit in March using the security keyword Papa Bear, right? Right? A plus lead didn't do that. A plus lead, I got the plus leads information because your dad, who did do that, wanted you to have the same exact benefits. That's what a plus lead is.
Got you.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate it. Look who's here. EJ with this title. I love that. EJ, what do you got for Shayla?
Hey, so my question is basically just where do I find a copy of this recording? Because I'm gonna go back over this a couple of times and get that dialed in.
Good question there.
Well, there's two ways to do it. I'll answer that for
Sam.
Shayla. We can, if we're recording it, we'll make it available to you. I'll send an email out. But more importantly, this is nothing that your upline doesn't know. Your upline knows how to do this every time. So if it's me and I'm brand new, I've been around for a while, I'm going to ask my regional producer, I'm going to ask my co-executive producer, I'm going to ask my executive producer. And if you get a shot and Mark's available, ask him, although he probably will think that you should already know the answer. But the point here is everyone knows how to do this. It's been around for a while. And what, as an agency, we need to get better at doing this with our new hires. So that way you make more money with less work, right? It's like a comedian standing in front of a crowd. If it's a crowd he's never seen before and he's not known, he's got to earn that credibility. But if you have a crowd you've been in front, it's your hometown, it's a warm crowd, it's a welcoming crowd. That's what a plus lead is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I
Yep,
agree,
thank you.
100,000%. Also, EJ, we're on the same team, so call me.
There you go. You're on the same team. Oh my gosh.
Give me a call.
All right,
Yeah.
EJ, you're out of here. You're done.
Watch
Anybody else
this
have a
and
question
not get
for?
into their dialing? Then
Does
I'd rather-
anybody else have a question for Shayla? If you do, please raise your hand. All right, Shayla, give us the closing remarks and send us out of here.
All right, closing remarks for plus leads, guys. First of all, do it. Effort. Effort is all it takes usually to get started with any. Actually, it is all it takes to get started with anything. You have to at least try. You have to at least attempt to do it. Okay. Put a focus on it. Put an emphasis on it. Make it as important as it actually is. Like Sam was just talking about, make your life easier by dialing, booking, sitting with, and closing plus leads. Since they also have a higher close ratio and a higher ALP per sale, you will also make yourself more money. I promise you that. If you don't have any plus leads to dial, or if you're an agent and you haven't collected the most in the whole world, ask your upline. I promise you they have some. I got some. You can dial for me and I'll run the appointment. I will. I promise you that. Cool.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Shayla. Really appreciate that. I'm going to have everyone give you a hand in just a second. We are at, what's the date? It is March 22nd, as I drop stuff. It's March 22nd. We have a few days left in the month. This is a push month, right? It's March Madness. We want to get $1 million between now and the end of the month. So we're putting incentives together. Work with your upline. Check in with your MGA. They've got incentives we're putting together, get everybody working every single day until the end of the month. We really want to push hard. We want you to win those prizes that you're eligible for. We're looking for $1 million. So everyone, please get with your MGA. They'll talk to you about it. Let's make some commitments for working hard to get the month finished off strong. Everyone, unmute yourself and let's thank, as she calls herself, the queen. Everyone thanks Shayla Harris for her workshop on plus leads. Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you,
Shayla.
Shayla.
Thank you, Shayla.
Thank
All
you.
right, everybody, back to
Anytime.
work, back to your stuff. Shayla, thank you so much. Let's go. Let's make it
Thank you.
happen. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.